Hello, hello, and welcome. Today we are starting the interview together with Lisa. So, Lisa is not just any member of our community, she is also our co creator and digital product specialist. She has been working in the corporate world for over 15 years creating digital products. And although I love to talk about your strengths and introduce you, you also have your own digital marketing journey, and that is what we're going to talk about today mostly. But maybe you can also introduce yourself a little bit. Who are you? What you're doing at this moment?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me here. I'm Lisa. I am Dutch by origin, but I live in Sweden, just as Maxime. And I used to work, like you said, I used to work in corporate. I built digital products for the biggest global giants. I've built campaigns for Google. I've built products for EA, PlayStation games. I've built websites, campaigns, banners, apps, you name it, and I've built it. So I've done that for 20 years, and at some point I was simply done in corporate. I was so done going to a job that I started to resent more and more. So yeah, that's when I decided this needs to change, and I started my digital marketing journey. And that's when I met you, Maxime.
I know, it's crazy because we actually met online, and this is one thing what I obviously love about the online space. But what was your life like before you started digital marketing? But also before you came to the Swedish Wealth Club?
Before I started digital marketing, I had a corporate job. So I was working as a digital product consultant, digital product specialist. And the company I worked for was bought up by a management company. And all of a sudden, overnight, the atmosphere changed completely. So we became a completely toxic work environment where everything was ruled by the boys club. And it didn't really matter how much work I put in. If you were not friends with the boss, then you would not get anywhere. And I ended up picking up the slack for everybody in my team, making long days, never get appreciated for it. And, I want to be appreciated for the work I do. I don't want to be appreciated because I happen to know this other guy from after hours because I hang with him in the weekend. And all of a sudden, that was the part of my work that got the most important. And I was making presentations towards my colleagues rather than actually helping my customers.
Oh, yeah.
And I just started to resent my job. And then having to go to the office long days, sitting there in a place that you hate, and you're sitting there by yourself in a meeting room because they wanted to see me, even though nobody cared what I was doing. I was like, I just, so that it was time to leave because I just didn't feel like it was benefiting me. So I gave up. I left, and I started to think, what should I do? And I had been looking at starting my own digital business for ages, and I just had never had the guts. And this was the point where I thought, it's now or never. If I don't try it now, then I'm going to end up in the next corporate job that's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I bought a couple of courses. I took coaching. I started for myself. I tried and made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of things. Some things worked, some things didn't work. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I learned a hell of a lot of new skills because even though I've built so many products and put them out on the market, I'd never done the marketing part because that was never part of we always had a team for that. So I had to learn a lot of new skills anyway. And that was really exciting, but I missed the feeling of a team. I am a team player. So, and that's when I was really happy to meet you because I realized that when you then find somebody to work with, you realize how lonely it was to not have that. So yeah, that's basically my journey has been one with ups and downs. And at some point I realized all this training I've done, I've learned a lot, but a lot of it was also not really compatible with Europe. It was not really compatible with the European market. I was really tired of doing all these courses where they say, "Oh, we have these live master classes. You can ask all your questions." But yeah, when there are 2 a.m, what are you gonna do? And I have a family. I have kids. I'm not gonna be able to do that and then get up at 6:30 again to get everybody to school.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the point where and also all the marketing techniques of pushing and really bragging about how good you are, and that's a very American approach, and it's fine, but I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So, and I think that's when I started to realize we need to do something different for Europe. And then you came with the idea, let's build something specifically for Europe for that audience, and so yeah, and then we did.
So cool. So, yeah, what made you say yes to me and the Swedish Wealth Club when I called you? Because I remember this phone call like yesterday.
I know too. I remember too. I was having a coffee with my daughter. We were out shopping, and you called me. And I have always thought that I was focusing on building a course for how to build your own digital product, and I was figuring out how to angle that in the right way. And you called me and you said, "Let's make a beginner's course," and I was like, that was not what I had in mind. But at the same time, I thought, it's not what I have in mind. But of course, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna let's do this adventure. So I had to pivot in my head quite a bit to make it work, because I didn't think it was a bad idea at all. It was just not what I had pictured. So I had to adjust a little bit. The good thing is that we managed to find a way where we build a beginner's course where my part of how to build a great digital product, that was not in any other beginner's course. So we decided to include that, which also makes that I felt like, hey, I contribute something that nobody else has, and that makes it a natural fit.
Yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, my first response was, oh, okay.
And how are we doing that?
But and at the same time, I think it's super cool to do it together. So I was really happy that we did it together, because I think it's so much easier to work together, to have somebody to bounce ideas with, and together you get, making digital products, you never do it alone. You do it better when you work together. And I saw that here as well. Yeah. So yeah, I remember how we started our first prototype, where we basically had a piece of paper with 90 days. And what should we do?
I know. It's so cool that we did that together, and that you've been with me from the start as well. Like, I love that. So what do you think is different in the Swedish Wealth Club than in the other courses that you took? Because you have invested in quite some courses just like me, but what was different for you?
I thought, one of the things that I thought was very important was to find a strategy that fits Europe, because none of the courses I took, a lot of them have a very, very American approach with, I don't know, the way of speaking, the way of communicating, the way of marketing, it doesn't really fit for Europe, I think. But most important, I think it's very important that in the Swedish Wealth Club, we actually build a community where it's a community as well, where you support each other, where everybody helps each other, where I love it that when we got students, they actually said, we feel at home here, we feel supported here, rather than here's a bunch of information overload, good luck. Because that's what I thought. A lot of the other courses I took is just a lot of sending out information without the place for people to,
come together, guys,
togetherness, get support, get help. That I think is very important. I also think it's really important that in the Swedish Wealth Club, we decided to really offer members the possibility to dial in, and then not once a month, but on a regular basis, every week, to be able to actually help people. Yeah. Well, building your own product has been I've not seen it in any good course done well. I know what I'm talking about, because I've built so many. And there's no course that explains it well. So then I thought I'll have to do that myself.
I love it.
And I think it's really good about Swedish Wealth Club that we do it with several people, because everybody brings in their expertise, and together we make something that's simply better. You don't get the lucky shot from one person. You get the combined knowledge of 4 people. And I think that's also very, very valuable. Plus, of course, there was no course that could cover all the languages that we do. Yeah. Because I've noticed a lot of people love learning in their own language rather than everything is English, and I mean, most people will understand, but not everybody will feel very comfortable in it.
Yeah. Hey, what was your most valuable insight in your journey in the Swedish Wild Club, or like a moment that you maybe not expected upfront?
I think first of all how important it is to collaborate, because I already knew that, but it was hard to find the right match.
Yeah.
That was a very, you kind of know, but until you get it back, you realize how much you missed it, or at least that's how I felt. Also, I think when we started the Swedish Wealth Club and set the 90 days, that I realized after a while, like, how powerful is it to actually help people from day one to chop up the process in pieces, make small steps rather than have them figure it out. And I think that was also something that surprised me. And at the same time, it sounds so logical in hindsight, but it surprised me that nobody else had done it.
And if we talk about your personal journey?
My personal journey, I realized that which parts I find super fun, also parts that I find harder to do. What surprised me really? It's a good question, because I don't really know how to answer that. There's so many learnings on the way, and some are big and some are small. I think one of the learnings for me was as well to how to actually market yourself, how to become a brand as a person, which is something that I hadn't really considered. I also started faceless, and at some point I realized, this is not me. Yeah. I think this whole starting your own thing is also a discovery for yourself. I've learned a lot about myself in the last year, of what I'm good at, what I'm motivated by, but also what I'm not so good at.
Well, but that's really powerful to know, because once you know, you can change it. And I think, we don't always want to see. But once we have that courage to actually say, okay, I'm actually going to look in that mirror I actually don't want to look in, a lot of growth and change happens for the better. It's what I've seen. So yeah, I think it's a very courageous journey, because you will come eye to eye with yourself in this entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
So at this moment, what are you most proud of your digital marketing journey so far?
What I'm really proud of is the way we designed the program. We also did it ourselves. I mean, I pivoted to going to the Dutch market, and the techniques we learn in our course, so we train people how to build an account, how to start selling. And I managed to implement that in my own account and actually saw the proof of it, because I thought that was really cool to see that, to go through the journey myself as well, and at the same time see the evidence of it actually works. So you get your own. I got to feel like one of our own students.
Yeah. That's really nice. I love that.
So that's really fun. It's selling your first course, making your first money is so cool, and being able to help others do that is such an empowering thing.
So let's see, because you made a new account, so you are, like you said, you're pivoting a little bit, but how many followers and how many euros earned? Because I think this is gonna blow a lot of minds. I would really like to know.
I changed to the Dutch market. I had never ever in my life had a Instagram account in Dutch, because I've lived in Sweden for the last 14 years, so there was no Instagram before that. So I've only had English accounts. So I had to change completely to the Dutch market, which I didn't know at all. And so I made my first content in Dutch, and I started that account less than 2 months ago, and I've made over 1,000 euros. And at the point where I made 1,000 euros, I had 236 followers.
That's crazy.
So,
that's insane. Because people really think that you need to be an influencer to make a lot of money, and it's just not true. you can start a brand new account and make this kind of money. It's so bizarre if I even think about it. If I say it out loud, like I teach it, I know it, but it stays bizarre to me.
I agree. And I also thought that, I mean, the person I bought my first course from, she had 60,000 followers. And I thought, oh my God, how do I get there? That feels like Mount Everest to climb. When you make your first €1,000 out of 236, I was like, okay, this is doable.
Yeah. Now it looks a lot better. Hey, what would you like to say to someone that is now doubting to start his or her journey?
It's a bit of a cliche, but just try it, just do it. You will learn so much about yourself, and also you will learn so many valuable skills. I would say be humble, start learning, and keep going. And there is no better time in history to start with a business like this than it is now. I mean, the opportunity is huge, so why wait? With the investment is so small compared to the possibilities, and that has never in history has there been a time where people were so easily connected and you could make money out of that so easily. So it's the opportunity is there and it's bigger than ever. So if you're in doubt, if you're even considering doing it, just do it. Because and also, I mean, how cliche is it? But if worst comes to the worst, then you regret something you tried. But regretting something you never did is much worse.
I love it. Quote by Lisa.
No, but and also I also think that one of the things that I like to tell people is you don't have to do a digital marketing course to become a digital marketer selling digital marketing courses. No. You can also do this course and learn so many skills that you can apply in other fields. So even if you think I want to become better at doing digital edits, for instance, or there's so many things you can learn in a course, or in our course at least, I know for sure, there's so many things you can learn that you can apply on other fields than just becoming a digital marketer. I mean, maybe you just want to grow your Instagram account because you find it fun.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. This is so true, and I love that. Hey, what's your next dream or goal that you're now working towards?
I am working towards widening my offer and making sure that I have a more building your own offer. The course is finished, but now there's so much more things I want to do. The more I'm going, the more things I see. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do that. So I have to limit myself a little bit here. It's of course my dream is to quadruple my corporate income from with my own business. I mean, in the end, my dream is to enjoy the freedom that I have and have a steady income that just keeps on going. That's of course I want to scale what I'm doing now. But I also want to scale it with meaningful work, and that's what I'm doing, and that's really that's what I want to keep on doing.
I love it, Lisa. Thank you so much for being with us today. Where maybe good to include, but where should people follow you?
Online Biz Partner NL on Instagram. And you can find me, of course, if you go to Maxime's website, you can find me as well.
You can find her there too. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll talk to you soon. Of course, I'll be also back with another interview soon.
Cool. Thank you for today, Maxime.
You're welcome.